Hi, my name is Allison Tiemann, and I'm the founder of Honey Badger Radio. I am absolutely thrilled to bring you this content. No, I'm not. I've been asked a few times about the eye gear, so I thought I might explain it. This is so I can see because I have astigmatism. I wear this in the hopes that it will prevent my migraines or cluster headaches or reduce their frequency. This is when I am in serious agony, but I want to continue to try and survive. Let's see what level of headgear I'll need for this content.
I don't care what one thinks about me.
Let's go in. Super quick summary. Amber Heard alleged that Johnny Depp was an abuser and a rapist, and he sued her and won.
I don't care what one thinks about me.
Yes, I'm convinced you don't care.
Or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home.
It's too late for that. You've invited everyone in to your privacy, and more importantly, Johnny Depp's privacy, when you made your original accusation.
The privacy of my own home and my marriage behind closed doors. I don't presume the average person should know those things.
Be careful, fellow average people. I think Amber Heard just declared war on us. Because we can see inside her house. Because she opened the door.
I don't presume the average person should know those things.
What is this about Amber Heard breaks her silence? It's been less than 2 weeks.
And so I don't take it personally.
No, you shouldn't take it personally. You should take personal responsibility because you did it.
But even somebody who is sure I'm deserving of all this hate and vitriol.
Victim of the patriarchy and the systems of patriarchal male privilege and male... Lady, all the people who are defending you for free are men. Everyone else is a woman who gets a paycheck from bullshit like this.
Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
Even if I am a liar, is it fair that I'm being depicted as a liar and condemned as a liar? I think not.
You cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
Let me get this right. This is a thought experiment in which she lied. And because of her lie, Johnny Depp was dragged through the mud for 6 years and lost all kinds of work. Probably had people who were close to him turn on him. She put a man through 6 years of torture based on her lies. But what's really important right now is that now that she's being called out in this theoretical world in which she concedes that she's lied, people are being mean to her. People are being mean to you because you take no responsibility, even in the theoretical world where you concede that you actually did it. You aren't like, oh, well, I did this. Maybe I should apologize to Johnny Depp in this theoretical world and not focus on how unfair it is that I'm being called out for the lies that I admit that I did.
Of course, we also touched on what happened in court and what the jury decided. There's no polite way to say it. The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony, and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
How could...
Oh, God, her affect. It's just like nails on a chalkboard.
I'll put it this way. How could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees.
And also your own recordings in which you admit to hitting him and not being able to control your violence and not wanting him to leave, to escape it. And basically taunting him for doing so.
And towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
Yes, you call us randos because you have contempt for the little people who don't have significant media clout.
So you don't blame the jury?
I don't blame them. It wasn't... I don't blame them. I actually understand. He's a beloved character.
Amber, not everything translates into dominance and submission and social coercion.
And people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor.
Their job is to not be dazzled by that. Their job is to look at the facts and the evidence. And they did not believe your testimony or your evidence.
Again, how could they, after listening to 3.5 weeks of testimony about how I was a non-credible person, not to believe a word that came out of my mouth?
You know how if you put a mirror in front of a cat, it arcs its back and it raises its hair and starts hissing and bouncing around as if there's another threatening cat in the room? This is how I envision Amber Heard looking at her own testimony, her own face, as she speaks the very things that destroy her credibility. This is the best part. Look. You can't hear her. It's awesome. Right, enough of that insanity. I just want to remind everyone that at the very beginning of all of this, there were the recordings of Amber admitting to hitting Johnny Depp, admitting to the fact that she wasn't going to control herself in the future in terms of her physical violence towards her, mocking him for wanting to escape it, and attempting to stalk him when he did. Now, I know that the media and the domestic violence NGOs talk a big talk about retaliatory violence, but retaliatory violence generally doesn't occur when the person is running away. If these recordings had surfaced and Amber hadn't been a woman, it would have been over on day one. There's no way the media would be giving a platform to a man with recordings like those. No way they would be stretching to weave together some thin threads of, well, what amounts to moral judgment in order to present a woman as the abuser in the face of recordings like those. What's the real reason why the media refuses to accept this verdict? Like, the vast majority of old media refuses to accept this verdict. It's right there in what Amber says about randos. The idea that 5 people, 5 randos, 5 peasants, 5 useless eaters could look at the evidence and determine reality, and determine a reality that the media hasn't signed off on, hasn't decided what reality is, that just really sticks in their craw. They can't stand the thought that our justice system allows the little people, the human cockroaches, to have an opinion and to make decisions like this. That is the media's right. That is their prerogative. We are told what reality is. We don't determine it for ourselves. That's what this is really about. That's why I knew that the fight after the verdict came in, I knew that, or at least trusted, that a jury of Depp and Amber's peers would come to a reasonable conclusion, even if defamation is hard to win. At the very least, they would come to reasonable conclusions based on the 3 factors. Was it malicious? Was it a falsehood? Maybe they would have said, yeah, we don't think he proved damages, but we do know it was malicious and we do know it was a falsehood. That would have been a reasonable verdict as well. So I was fairly certain that they would come to a reasonable verdict. I knew what was going to be the real issue was how the media reacted to the idea of peons making a decision about a reality that they had already decided. What was really going to be the fight was the media storm after the verdict. Maybe this interviewer will get Amber Heard to reveal herself. She'll give her lots of rope and allow us all to see once again that she is a dissembler, that she tells falsehoods. But my guess is that what they're going to do is give her a platform to continue to push those lies unopposed and to continue to harm and torture her victim because he's a man. Thank you for sticking with that video. And since you've come this far, please come a little bit further. Honey Badger Radio doesn't get advertising and we don't get sponsors. So I appeal to you directly, our audience. What I ask is, if you enjoy this content, if you think it's important to talk about these issues, and you have the means to support, why you don't support. And I ask if you would think about that question and send the answers to badger@feedthebadger.com. And if you think about that question of why you don't support and the answer is, well, why not? Then you go to feedthebadger.com and set up a subscription or do a super chow, send a message to us, or support us in our monthly fundraiser. That's feedthebadger.com. Another thing that really helps us out is testimonials about how Honey Badger Radio has had a positive impact in your life. It really helps to know that we are making a difference. You can send those to badger@feedthebadger.com, or you can leave a voicemail at 1-306-327-9960. Please indicate if you're okay with having those recordings played on our channel, or if you're okay with having your emails read out. Please go to feedthebadger.com and help us out. And since you have endured this, here's a little bonus content as a thank you. This is the newest addition to my family. His name is Leo, for Leonidas, and he is a 3.5-month-old Siamese snowshoe kitten. Thank you for your kind attention, and please be sure to keep watching this space, because very shortly I will be putting up a much more in-depth review of the media coverage of this case and what I believe is a secret and completely overlooked motive for why the media is doing what it's doing. Have a nice day.